Candace Owens had on what's this guy's name again?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, he's kind of like a marginal presidential candidate for the Republican Party, and it's like
he's like the 2024 Andrew Yang.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Wow.
Kind of rich guy with designs on making a name for himself with like a certain subset of people, branding himself in a way that gets him like ahead in his career with conservatives. So he has no chance to win, obviously, but this is just like an expensive kind of PR exercise. And he was on with Candace Owens, and they talked about Ron DeSantis. I found her take here to be interesting because I say this a lot. Candace Owens overcompensates constantly. She's always going for the toughest take, the most extreme take, the closest it is to the id of the base, whatever she can do to make up for the fact that she's a woman and that she's a black person in a company that hates women and hates black people. Like that is how she tries to stay ahead of the game. And I think she's tapping into something that she's reading from some of her viewers, which fits into like how DeSantis is kind of falling apart here.
I don't have an issue with Ron DeSantis. I'm just a gut player, and I just my gut instincts about him is that he's very practiced and he's very rehearsed. And that's all I've said. I haven't really given a reason. I haven't been able to eloquently state what you have just so brilliantly stated right there about Ron DeSantis. I love him as a governor. I said if I lived in Florida, I'd be voting for Ron DeSantis. I think he's done a good job as a governor, but I don't trust him on the world stage. I said I don't trust him to be America first on policies. And I do feel that he is beholden to his political consultants. He's beholden, more importantly, to the donor class. And he does. And I feel like that whole weekend with Trump, he's talking to see how maybe talking to his biggest donors of like, what should I say? Because his biggest donors hate Trump, right? That's why they're getting behind him, because they're so done with Trump. Right. And so he doesn't want to upset them by not saying the right thing. And I felt that with him and was unable to explain that to my listeners. And I'm just so grateful that I asked you that question, because that's exactly how I feel instinctively. And I think that you are reading that correctly.
Instinctively. Interesting. This also comes as Florida Republicans are speaking to the Miami Herald saying that they are getting impatient and they want to support DeSantis, but he needs to shit or get off the pot, essentially. And like, what is he I don't think he's going to run at this point. Sam had said that months ago, and I was like, are you serious?
He's like torpedoing any goodwill he's had by continuing to drag this out. I think you're right in the sense, almost what's the point of him doing it now?
Yeah.
Wait till 2028.
And he should, because one, challenging an incumbent if Biden runs again, no matter how geriatric and middling his approval numbers are, is a difficult task. Plus, with the state of the Republican Party right now, it doesn't seem like they're still able to leave the Trump cult behind. So that sets him up to fail in the general election. If I were him, I would not run. The problem is just like, he's a psycho, and his ego is enormous, and there has been a years-long ramp-up to make him Trump without the baggage because he went to Yale. And as he'll say the same kind of stuff in public, but there's some implicit understanding with the donor class Republicans at behind the scenes, like, you're a little more serious than Trump. We can handle you.
Yeah, and they really want him to run.
But but why should he? Like, at this point, it does not. He has been pussyfooting so much around, and he's let Trump build a whole narrative about him. I'm sorry if that's an offensive term. I don't know if that's the.
Yeah, pussies are strong. I'm a mom. Trust me.
There you go. As a mother, how do you feel about Ron DeSantis maybe now running?
As a mom, good God. As a mom, there's things I just can't say, actually. It's radicalized me to a very extreme degree. And now he's just passed a six-week abortion ban. So tight. A lot more moms coming at him in Florida. But I never even considered him not running. I never even thought that he would not run. I feel like he's wanted to run. He just needs to resign in order to run, and he's scared. So, he's acting like he's a little bit afraid that he is going to lose, because I think he will lose. I don't think he's going to clinch that nomination at all. And he knows that he would have to demonize the MAGA base in order to do that, and he wouldn't win. So you're right. It makes more sense to wait till 2028. That being said, you think Trump's not going to run again? Like, he can always keep running. So like, there's no sign that, you know, he'll have any more of that base. He can maybe channel the energy now. Whereas in 2028, when however many more lawsuits Trump's got on him, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's better to wait or better not to wait. But Candace Owens being like, I don't know about him on a national stage. Will he be fashy enough? You know, just will he be too much of a globalist? You know, I'm not sure if just like Trump on a world stage, did he make everyone proud?
Yeah, he just was meeting with white supremacist Nick Fuentes and Kanye West. Speaking of the globalists, like, I mean, that's what she thinks works on a world stage. No, she didn't say national stage, because I am of the mind that Trump's baggage is just way too much to overcome to win over enough moderates to have any real shot. And he's like Teflon, so it's hard for me to say that. That could bite me in the ass. But in 2016, I thought there was a very good chance that he could win, and I just don't have that same sense now. But like, it just, to me, she makes this case because she wants to be one of the first people to say it. And like, the Daily Wire hasn't been, none of these, her colleagues want DeSantis so badly, but she's just a little crazier. She's got more nuts up there. And the Trump stuff, that's where the base still can't quit him. This is like one of those relationships that your friend is in, and it's on and off for 6 years, and there's cheating, and you're like, Jesus Christ, can you just end it already? But they keep coming back. That's how the Republican base is with Trump right now, and it's going to leave them in a much worse position at some point.
And it's fascinating what the examples are. It's fascinating what the examples are that they do bring up, or that Trump brings up, in terms of like world stage stuff. It's like, they just like when he acts like a mobster, basically, when he's like, oh, I made NATO pay more. Like, I was saying, like, oh, you're not paying enough, or like, I sent Abdul. I think he just says Abdul. I don't even know who he's talking about when he talks about Abdul from the Taliban. He's like, I sent him a picture of his house.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I'm talking
I'm really
about.
worried about
Tucker?
The other N-word, nuclear.
Right. Going on, saying that nuclear is the one of the two N-words, and then proceeding to say it 25 times in 5 minutes.
Y'all, I mean, sorry, Bradley, you were making a point. But
no,
so I just think that's just so funny what they like to emphasize about like his like
seriousness,
like his foreign policy.
What about when he sat down with Kim Jong-un? No barriers, just like absolutely no barriers to that meeting. Just wanted to do it. Fine, huge win for Kim Jong-un. Yeah, why not? Oh yeah, nuclear armed North Korea. Let's do it. So all we need to do is sit down with them.
He's
with him.
Super cute. You're looking really cute.
And before that, they call him Rocket Man.
Rocket
he was giving a speech to the United Nations saying, we all call him Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Oops.
And they
let one slip.
Rex Tillerson in the audience, like, hello, darkness, my old friend. Come to them.
The other thing that I love, here's what's been like bothering me about the right, and the way that they pretend like they are not the most bought and sold MFers in the entire media landscape and in the country, right?
Yeah.
The Daily Wire gets its money from the Wilkes brothers, from gas and oil. Like, that's how they all get started. But like, somehow everyone else is bought and sold. Everyone else, like, they're independent, they're free thinkers. No, they're not. You work for industry. That's how you have your shiny little, like, offices and can offer Crowder way too much money.
Those are the good corporations, right? And like, that's what Republican critique is of corporate America. It's just come to the good side. There's no structural critique. They don't believe in systemic issues. So how could they have a structural critique of corporations?
Right.
It's just and
we get massive handouts from the government every single year. All of those subsidies. Yeah. Socialism for the rich. Corporate welfare. Like, just stop pretending that you're so independent, man. Like,
none of these. No one is a free thinker. No one is I hate the term free thinker, because I'm sorry, we are all operating in a society. No one's fully free of influence from other people. Like, I think it's important to actually be an advocate for other people and their thoughts, like trans people or black people or indigenous people. Like, I'm not free of those influences.
You're not free of empathy? Wow,
Yes.
Emma, you're so like held back.
I am proud to be an influence thinker. It's just because my
Yeah.
influences are the good ones. Like, I mean, and I think that that's what the Daily Wire is trying to appeal to. Like, you too can be a narcissist and feel that your thoughts are completely siloed off from society, and that everything that you think of comes from this like deeply unique place that's just yours. And it's atomizing. That's what conservatism is.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Francesca, I know you have a little baby to get back to, but
I mean, I'm chilling, y'all.
Okay,
If you
but
guys
tell-
want to.
You
But
want
yes.
to do well? We gotta take a break because I gotta call into the phones and stuff. I just figured this might be a natural point for me to ask you to plug the Bituation Room here.
Oh, everybody, The Bituation Room is my podcast, and we stream every Tuesday and now Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for asking. You can listen wherever you get your podcast. You can watch on YouTube at Franny Fio. You know, I am not bought and sold. Like, I agree with you, Emma, but like, I'm, you know, when you take a vow of poverty, and by that, I mean, have a child,
Yes.
you know, you're just kind of, you know, you're relying on that sweet, sweet Patreon. So, yeah, everybody check out the podcast Emma's been on, Sam has been on, God,
It's
like
a
a
great
year
show.
ago now.
Yeah, we should do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, you should come back on.
Yeah, I would love to. Anything else? We're gonna head into the fun half in a second. The number is 646-257-3920. Francesca, really, really appreciate you. You know that, right?
I do, and I appreciate all y'all. Thank you for having me. I know even if Sam and Matt are out, you guys have been crushing it, holding it down.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I can't. I know. I've said this a million times. It's just like unbelievable how I'm just so thrilled that we didn't have really any technical issues this week that only Matt could solve because he. Because
Yeah, knock on wood.
yeah, he like if people were to see the setup here, it's the most convoluted crap ever.
And Matt's the crypt keeper.
He really is. He knows like what
has all the
weird
forbidden
wire
knowledge.
to tweak,
Yeah.
and then everything's fixed.
Right.
But he's
anyway.
on the Soros, you know,
That's right.
grand jury. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the Soros money pays a little bit better, I
So-
think.
it does. It does.
You would know. All right. Check out the Bituation Room. We'll put a link to the Patreon in the description of the YouTube show, podcast, majority.fm.